Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we've got a great show today. I am super excited. Um, Listen, there are not too many times that I'm excited about doing uh lives outside of my own comfort zone. Y'all know I'm a Cancer, right? So by nature, we have our own comfortable zone and that sort of thing. But I love when I'm actually able to meet up, as I call it, beyond the boards, and meet up with members of Glow Nation, friends, and family, of course. But when we're able to take these conversations beyond the YouTube, beyond the screens, and there was a great opportunity that came about a couple of days ago. And I was just like, you know what? I haven't done an on live, a live on location in a minute. And so I was like, okay, when a friend of mine from way back, y'all, invited me in to share some time in his space in his home and said, hey, we can chop it up literally. We got a little kale, we got a little oak hill, yeah, going on here to celebrate the occasion. But when he said, hey, we can do this, at my home and it'll be peace. I said, you know what? I think my Glow Nation, I think we would love this because this is what I'm always preaching, right? Getting together beyond the boards. So our BTB, as I like to call it. So without further ado, we're gonna bring my brother to the panel live and direct, as Ray J would say. Y'all know I love it. We're gonna do it live. We're gonna do it live. We're gonna do a Bill O'Reilly style live. Okay. But let me say hello and let me greet my greeters, my Glow Nations in the room. Naima, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. And I know we have a couple of people that are getting settled. Y'all know we are live at 5 this Wednesday, but we've been adjusting, we've been flexible these last couple of weeks, but now we're back on target. So just gonna let our glowers get in the room and get settled, and then we're gonna get it glowing. That's right. One moment, guys. Hey there, Snuggles. Nothing happened. We're here for you. Welcome, welcome. We're just getting everything set up. We got a couple of moving pieces. You know, I'm in a new space today, so just one moment. So just a couple of more seconds, guys. We're trying to get all the acoustics right and all of that good stuff. But we're so glad you all are joining us today. Yeah. This is going to be a great discussion because for a number of reasons, right? First of all, when we talk about transitioning and when we talk about elevating, they always say if you are the same person you were 10 years ago, you're doing something wrong, right? And I can definitely attest to um, both, myself and brother Palmetto Star that, we're different people than where we were, 10 years ago, a decade ago. Um, I remember just meeting brother Palmetto when I was still married. But I think what happened was no, I was divorced, but we were divorcing. We were separated, but we were still living together, getting that whole situation figured out. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I got to hurry up and get into another relationship. And I was always, very much kind of bending his ear about how I just really was kind of out of sorts with um, finding a space for the type of intellectual engagement that I, was going to soon be missing from not being married anymore because, my husband was someone who I not only vibed with and, was with as far as a relationship, but we were we were partners in the fight. We were like we were a little bit like Betty and Malcolm for all intents purposes, or at least in my mind. And so, I was just kind of, I met Brother Palmetto, just sharing with him, being another content creator, about some things that I was working on. One of them at the time was I was developing an online show, and he is very affluent in a lot of media, a lot of media ventures. And so I was trying to kind of figure it out how to. It was me and two other ladies. One of them is a subscriber. The other one, I don't know, she might be a lurker. We lost touch a few years ago, but so he was kind of advising in that regard, and as well as, like I said, just helping me to kind of find some groups that I could plug into for that intellectual engagement and that stimulating conversation that I was going to be missing. And so over the years, what happened was, I saw his trajectory, and he saw mine. I went from being kind of like a just a recent divorcee to trying to figure out this whole thing with being able to have these intellectual and stimulating relationships on top of being a newly divorced woman and in a new city, because I had just moved back. I just moved back from Atlanta to Miami, back to Miami. And so he actually was around when I did when I had just finished off my first book tour, and that was phenomenal. And then we were able to connect on him creating MX Day here in Atlanta, which I was immediately just like all over, because y'all know I'm a student of Malcolm X, and so much to the point that when I was pregnant with my son, I used to watch Malcolm X every Thursday. It used to be called MXTR. That was the that was the acronym in my house, just so people knew what was what. They knew if they called me and I texted them MXTR, they knew what time it was. They were like, "Oh, okay, it's Malcolm X Thursday, right?" True indeed. So I became just not only a friend but a fan of what he was doing, and investing in what he was doing. And with the friendship just continued and grew from there. And then when I moved back to Atlanta, I was like, yo, he was like literally one of the first people I met up, made sure that we made an immediate connection. And because like I said, it's important that we realize that these lives beyond the borders, or BTB, as I always say, that's so much. That becomes your brood. That becomes your tribe. We can't just be doing all of this internet thugging, and you never touch bases with those who you never form those bonds with people that literally are neighbors in your city. So thank you all again for coming through and just bearing witness to this. Like, this is not a new thing. This is definitely something that not only I preach, but I practice, growing relationships and cultivating them, and actually tending to them just like you do, your harvest, right? With that being said, wow, I can't wait to get to these kale salads. They came out really great. So, all right. So we in here, brother. He's like, hey, yes, that's him. So let's get into it. Let's jump into it. Welcome again, everybody in the room. Y'all make sure, remember, I'm not watching on YouTube. I'm only seeing StreamYard. So make sure you throw your glowers up. Make sure that we know you're in here. Put your torches up, y'all. So let's get into it. Let's first of all let's unpack some things. Let's first of all talk about this recent election. Okay, so y'all, if y'all don't know, this is also the creator of the hot sauce and strippers plan that I'm always talking about, that I'm so fond of, And y'all, I brought my hot sauce today too. So I'm not gonna act brand new, y'all. I'm gonna make sure my hot sauce is in here. I brings my Tabasco to the party. I want y'all to know. But let's talk about this bill. Oh my gosh, no, but before that, because I didn't even know. So, Palmetto, brother, tell me about this Claude Anderson interview. So give us the background on who Claude Anderson is for some of us that don't know. And like I said, that was huge as far as, I didn't even know. And I didn't know that you had interviewed him. I would have been all over that, So first of all, give a history about who Claude Anderson is and how the interview came about.
Well, Dr. Claude Anderson is the best-selling author of Powernomics. It is looked at as the Black Bible that it has been called that in many publications. and for economics, and he is one of the foremost thinkers of the Black progressive movement. He's always talking about self-sustainability economically, um, and so he is just one of the top thinkers of just Black progressive thought and movements. And he was at we interviewed him on the show for his latest book, which is 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. So he was on our program to Raw for TV. This was maybe 2 years ago. So it's still on YouTube. It's actually one of his best interviews ever. I know he's done interviews on the Breakfast Club since, 2 interviews on the Breakfast Club. But they pale in comparison. If you listen to what he's saying on Too Raw for TV, which you could actually go to my YouTube channel, just hashtag, really just go to search bar, the number two, RAW, the number four, and TV. Just put it all together, and I'll be the one of the first things that pop up, and you can go to his interview. Um, it it went viral, and it was a really good interview. And he talked about impending race war. He talked about a lot of different things that are happening right now in real time. So I mean, he's talking about a lot of stuff that's happening right now in real time with Trump, with these elections and all of that. So if you when you get a chance after this broadcast, go ahead and listen to that interview, because it is his best interview that he has done. I mean, I've seen the Breakfast Club interviews and they are okay. Big time shout out to Charlemagne. I know him personally. But,
that's right, because he's from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, so give your background. I'm telling you to introduce about Claude Anderson. Give your background. Introduce yourself to the Glowers. This is Glow Nation. We're a great group, so everybody is going to be welcoming. We're all glowers in here. Go ahead and give your background, brother, if you would.
Hello, Glowers. My name is Palmetto Star. I'm the host of Too Raw for TV. It's a broadcast. We've been broadcasting since November 4th, 2010. We've been mentioned on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. We've had guests like Charlemagne the God, Dr. Claude Anderson, and many others across the gamut, from Hollywood stars to revolutionaries. Everybody has been on Too Raw for TV, it seems like. So, and we talked about community issues that matter. As a progressive building, but it's not only that. It's about getting boots on the ground and actually doing work in real time, and with real action involved. So, a lot of people that listen, I encourage them to actually come to Atlanta and be boots on the ground with us and become part of the movement, because it's not just a radio show, it's a movement. So, we were one of the main people, like Courtney was saying earlier, that brought about the Malcolm X Day out here in the country. So now everybody celebrates Malcolm X Day on May 19th. That's a day where we don't ask for permission to take a day for our scholars, a day for our progressive thinkers. We claim it. So we claim Malcolm X Day on May 19th. So that's one of the things that we've done. Courtney has been part of that. She has been part of that
since day one. Since day one, because I already told him. I said, "Oh, I'll send my kids to school. That nobody does nothing on May 19th anyway. So this is good that I can officially say yes. I'm a part of this day. That's why we have to get Malcolm X Day declared. That's a mission of mine since I moved here. I want to get it declared as an action, to be like a proclamation. We need to have May 19th as an actual proclamation. If you all don't know, May 19th is brother, elder, wisdom, legendary Malcolm X El Shabazz, his birthday and his born day. And I've said that like for years, like even Emmett Till. Like I just think that there should be like a day of memoriam, day of remembrance for victims of lynchings and that sort of thing. And so of course, if we can celebrate Martin Luther King or the President's Day, we should absolutely have these holidays just written out. You know, we should make a
absolutely.
calendar. We should work on that. We should make a calendar, and we should just have the Malcolm X Day. Like I said, Malcolm X Day is that's like my that's my President's Day. That's my Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
That's all of those days wrapped up in one. We don't do nothing but do Malcolm X you know, movies. I have a whole playlist of Malcolm X music because you know, y'all, he loved to dance. He was an avid fan of dancing. And then from your influence, what I did actually in because y'all know I was a councilwoman in Miami, what I developed was that day was called Spring Giving. And so that was a way to kind of whitewash it a bit to get more people to be a part of it. So what we did on that day was I organized with the schools and the local churches, and we would do like a Thanksgiving Day. Like it would be like but it was called Spring Giving. So we would gather together. It was beautiful. I had it for the last 2 years, the only 2 years that I was on the council, I had it for. And we had like a big you know, it was like a big community Thanksgiving Day, but it was called Spring Giving, but it was on May 19th. And that was in part of, you know, because of your influence. So yeah, boots on the ground are so important, so key. And I think that a lot of us kind of miss that when we're talking. Speaking of which, I had a great conversation with brother William, you know, regarding how impactful it is that we move past that stage. And we just literally talked about that today. So I told him to tune in tonight because I said I knew we would get going with that conversation as well. But why do you think so many of us get stuck in that stage, in that phase where we're just kind of like, you know, I call it intellectually masturbating. Yes, like
I do want to get on that, but I want to actually piggyback on what you were saying. One of the things that you had said is that about us making it a national day and having other people recognize it's a national day. Okay, thank you. The Oakell, that this out looks so good.
Yeah, let me tell y'all, and I gave him the prettier plate. He got the rim and everything, y'all. Look at that. Let me tell you, I really appreciated
Oakell,
I really appreciated how much he enjoyed it because we've known each other for years, but it was never like physical. It was spiritual. It was, you know, we vibe, but we had never met physically. So literally the first time that we met, I was like, what you want to do for dinner? He was like, I don't know. What were you thinking? I'm like, you know what? Like, y'all know, as a big rule of thumb, I don't cook for men that I'm not, you know, with. So that's, you know, or I'm not with, or they're not clients, like, you know, business wise, what have you. You're going to get a meal, but that's not something that I normally do. But I was just like, you know what, I've been working on something. I want to kind of, you know, share this recipe with you. And I really appreciate that he loved it so much because like he was, you know, it was the first time. So it was like he was meeting me, and you know, he was meeting my kale. And I love this dish. Like I told you, I tell him all the time, this is what I've gone for years, literally, and I've only had this on a daily basis. Like, you know, it is a few ingredients, but the tasters are so amazing. But today I added up. So I added on there's some roasted Brussels sprouts in there. We got some green beans in there. We got the onions that you put in. And I put in even, you know, your pieces of some raw purple cabbage, you know. So, but you can mix it in. So it's like a raw slaw. It's a raw slaw. But yeah, so but that is an important part. That is an important part of it, right? Like getting us to actually do something and not just talk about it.
Yes, yeah. Let me just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I keep interrupting you with that.
On what you're saying.
I'm horrible.
We have to recognize our own days first before we get anybody else to recognize their day. Before we get it declared a national holiday. Before any of that, we have to recognize and do for ourselves. Do for self, like Malcolm had professed. And like Marcus Garvey had professed.
Marcus Garvey, that's another one.
So, you know, we had to do for ourselves, because we're going to wait for the pink populace to recognize who, you know, our leaders, you know, will be waiting forever, you know. So we had to recognize them first and make it important to us first before we even, before we, declare a national holiday or anything like that. It has to be up with us first. So that's why May 19th, I think it falls on a Wednesday this
year.
This year. So you guys take off of work, wear black, and organizing your city. We're going to be doing a lot of organizing with different cities. I know it's really big in Philly. It's really big on the West Coast.
It is big in Philly.
In different cities in the West Coast. So, and we're going to make it big here in Atlanta. So if you're on the Southeast, you may want to come out to.
We're pushing for a proclamation. I'm pushing for a proclamation here. I think some other cities might have it, but I'm pushing for a proclamation here in Atlanta. I think,
absolutely.
This is beyond, like, it's past time that. And I definitely think next on the agenda should be just like a day of remembrance for our lynching victims. So many names, that just are not even recognized.
Right.
You know what? And for anybody that's ever interested in really having a real idea of the type of historical stain that lynching has put on the United States, please look at the book called Without Sanctuary. Y'all, this book changed my life. Like, y'all, there were accounts of people that got, people that were getting babies that were getting hung 5-6 years old, and some of the infractions were just, they weren't even things that would even get them detention from a school, and they were hung, and these were babies. So there was one young boy that was hung because he wouldn't sleep with his mother. He wouldn't breed with his mother. But we go day to day, and we'll just kind of discount what significance this has to us as a people. And I do think that is why we continue to kind of peril, because we don't want to connect with that, because it's such a brutal, it's such a horrific thing to say this is a part of my heritage. But it's necessary, you all. It's necessary, you all. We're going to grow.
Okay.
So we have Hey Jose, and we have some questions too to go, but go ahead.
Okay, I do want to say this, because we were talking about how oftentimes, a lot of times Black spaces, when we talk, it just is that it stays at the talking level, it stays on the cerebral level, it stays on the intellectual level, and a lot of times it doesn't go further than that.
Come on.
And now, and that is what you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
Is about the fear of doing something, and then the action behind that. The actions behind that, because yes, we do need to recognize our lynching from the past.
Yeah. And still currently.
Yeah, absolutely. But
especially South Carolina.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now,
still,
I mean,
right.
we have to know. Police killed more unarmed Black men in the past 5 years than that were lynched in the Red Summers, the summers that destroyed the Black Wall Street,
our towns,
Oklahoma,
Rosewood.
Yeah. Also Sanford, Florida, where Trayvon Martin was lynched, a modern day lynching.
Seminole County, yeah.
Now you're from Florida,
right?
Sanford, Florida was once called Goldsboro. That was a Black town as well.
Wow.
It has the same history.
And that's originally where Florida Memorial was, which is so y'all, even though I come from Florida A&M, and I would like to say we are the premier HBCU in Florida, there is Florida Memorial, which is now located in Miami Gardens, in Miami, Florida. And my dad had to actually, when he was on the show a couple of weeks back, he had to enlighten me on that information, that he was like, no, Courtney, Florida Memorial used to be in Sanford. And I was like, no, I don't remember that.
It wasn't always called Sanford. It was originally called
Goldsboro, which
was an all-Black settlement.
That's beautiful.
It has the same history. And I actually went there 2 weeks after the Trayvon Martin verdict. If you guys don't know,
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that. You like 2 weeks. You lied from there. Like, you had some.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff from there.
Yeah.
because I actually at that time initiated a hunger strike for Trayvon Martin.
That's right.
A hunger strike for Trayvon Martin,
That's right.
and you know, that was right after the verdict, and so a lot of people were with me at first, and as the weeks turned into months, and as the months turned into years, a lot of people stopped. You know, they you know, I recognized that it was just for me. I actually ended up going 801 days without eating any solid food.
Oh my gosh.
With for the hunger strike for Trayvon Martin, I was determined not to eat any more solid food until I felt Black people were liberated. And I I did get the realization that we were liberated, and now it's just time for us to make a decision. Do we fight or flight? You know, do we fight and stay, and do we
Now,
run
did
away?
you ask for a sign like how Nat Turner, the blood moon?
I did have a
The
sign.
blood moon was a sign for him.
Well,
that Nat Turner said it's a go. When he saw that red moon, he said it's a go.
Well, at the time, it was a lot of stuff happening. At the time, my sign was actually one of my guests on my show. Okay. We had did a video. If you guys Google I am Segment, we had did a video that actually went viral. It went on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and they said that the video was you know, it was actually a promotion for this woman named I am Segment, who was a big community organizer. She goes by Tazrapath right now. If you guys look up on Instagram, her name is Tazrapath right now on Instagram. But at that time, they said that the video was threatening police and white people. So the terrorist task squad actually kicked in her door and arrested her for a YouTube video, which we did.
Wow.
And at that same time, they arrested her on the day that we were supposed to be doing the interview. And on the day of that interview, the platform I was on at the time canceled my show, canceled my broadcast. So I was calling in, I was trying to, you know, call into the show, and they were like, you know, and then they sent me something that said that, and a whole bunch of, I call them pink people, upset pink people that were upset about, they were upset about the content and it, you know, what we were talking about. They had did a whole letter writing campaign to the platform. They had did a lot of stuff, and so they you know, they had canceled the broadcast at that same time that she was arrested, you know, and so they ended up so that was, to me, I just had, when that happened, I had that realization. I was like, we're already free. We're already free. We're already liberated. It's just up to us to make the decision on how we want to exercise our liberation. So yeah, so that was my sign. And you guys could Google all that stuff. All of it has been documented, recorded. You know, it was highly put on CNN and Fox News. Fox News was covering everything about that. You know, she did an interview on Fox News at that time, or after she got out, and we were of course, we were at the jails, you know, protesting about her being arrested for this, you know, because it was clearly freedom of speech. She clearly wasn't threatening anybody and all of this stuff, but that didn't matter. You know, they just you know, they arrested her and all this other stuff. So it was crazy. You guys Google it, you guys see it. It happened in what, 2015?
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, this stuff, these things, and I always love that realization, because when we talk about these injustices, people always say, "Oh, that was so long ago, dude. You was in high school." Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you was just graduating high school 5 years ago. Yeah. You know, even when we think about in terms of you know, Black people having, you know, the right to vote, you know, they're like, "Oh, this is something that your grandparents didn't have." Yes, they did. Yeah, yeah, they could. Yeah, my grandmother could vote. You know, my grandmother was a mayor; she could vote. But we really have, I think, an issue when we talk about putting things in context of time. You know, but when we when we're talking about things that have systematically and historically affected us, we like to talk about like they were so long ago, and they aren't, and that's why I said even right now in this day and age they are still going on. We are still being lynched. You know, human trafficking is still a very real thing, and that is, you know, what I think the conversation also needs to be had, that slavery, that's, you know, that was the biggest human trafficking system that we've ever known.
Well, Courtney, let me say this.
Yeah.
Slavery, chattel slavery was one of the biggest human trafficking vessel things that happened. What's happening right now with the penal system and the modern day justice system is just as atrocious. There are more people enslaved now,
right,
in the penal system, more Black people enslaved now. You know, under the 13th Amendment, they are slaves.
Did you see that 13 by Anna DuVernay?
No, I didn't see that. But there's more people now enslaved in the penal system than at the height of chattel slavery. So there are more slaves now than in slavery. So we're still in this. We're still in this. Like there's no the only thing that has changed is the language that, you know, surrounds this. And as free people, the definition of a free person is to be able to define their own reality. So we had to change our language. We had to change the language. We got to, as Martin Luther King said, we had to get the language right. We had to get the language right.
Get the language right, y'all.
We had to define our own reality. You know, we can't be we can't have others define our reality to tell us that we're this and that, and, you know, use all these whistle words for Black people, welfare recipient, all of this other stuff that they say, you know, and they try to create our reality with their words. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you brought up the election. We're actually doing a broadcast about Black people voting this Thursday on TOORAWFORTV.
Okay.
It's called it's the broadcast is called Politics Won't Save Us, Be Sovereign or Suffer. And we're going to be talking.
That's like the ballad of the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that language right.
So we're going to be talking to
Be Sovereign or Suffer.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking to one of the main organizers.
And, you know, Philadelphia, well, you know, Pennsylvania is a, you know, they call, when you are a state that creates your own laws, they call it like that's as close as you get to like a sovereign state. Yeah.
But we're going to be talking to one of the main organizers of the East Atlanta Exxon boycott. His name is Scapegoat Jones. If you guys are on Instagram, matter of fact, just pull up another tab. His name is Scapegoat Jones.
Okay.
So just pull up another tab. Follow him on Instagram. They're having a boycott of this Exxon there that was very racist. Right here in Atlanta, the owner has poured water on homeless couples. He's called people EBT roaches. He said that he hates the Black community, even though he's in the Black community on camera. On camera, he said this. He said he hates the Black community. You know what I'm saying? So they've actually been boycotting there. I think today is the 47th day or 46th or 47th day that they've been out there consistently, and they're not stopping till that place shuts down. They killed almost all his business there. They've actually been giving food away at the Exxon. You know, they've been giving out goods for free just to bring in business. And you know, so they're gonna stay out there till it's all finished. I've been out there a couple of times since I've known about it. Me and my staff from TOORAWFORTV have been out there. So, and I'm probably gonna be out there Friday. So if you guys want to join us,
this Friday, December 4th.
This Friday, December 4th.
What time?
I should be there sometime in the afternoon. I don't know.
So the Exxon
is, I think it's 2534 Flat Shows Road. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure. But I'm pretty sure that's the
And I want to read some of these comments because there are a few that are coming in. Okay. Welcome. We know we have some new glowers in. Yes, you all. We have a different backdrop today. Welcome, welcome, you all. So I'm gonna go back up. First of all, thank you so much, Jose, for contributing that. That was a huge piece. Let me see what this is. Oh no. Sorry, one of my glowers is calling. She know we on a live. Hey, sis, I'm on a live. But I am going to drop that link. We are going to drop that link if anybody wants to come up later. But right now, we about to get into it a little bit more. Jamila Barakat says, "Make Atlanta Black again." Ooh, Baba.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Welcome, welcome. Wisdom says, "Grand Rising, Miss Omega, Courtney, and the brother." Wisdom, welcome. How are you, brother? Jose, thank you for that. Jose says, "What do slavery, human trafficking, satanic ritual abuse, prisons, and Democrats, or as we call them, Democrats, on this side of the woods, all have in common? They all use trauma bonding to entrap minds." Welcome, welcome, mom and daughter. Don't know if you're still here. Caught that you were here a little later than I think it posted, because, like I said, StreamYard. Now YouTube posts faster, but StreamYard, the sound goes faster. So it's a delay on, it's not an exact connection on both platforms. So I apologize that I missed that you were in here. If I was in the YouTube, I would have probably seen it sooner. Okay, so Snuggle said, what's the plan? What's our plan to do every week to advertise until May 19th, so it can soak into the head of the people that need to ingest that information?
Well, we're going to be organizing here in Atlanta.
Are we going to do some pop-ups? We should do some pop-ups before it comes.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
the kale salad will be there.
Yeah,
the Grove Aid. Yeah, a Malcolm X Day pop-up would be that'd be dope. Yeah, that would be dope. That'd be dope.
Also, I would be encouraging. I do have a network of people that organize nationwide and have organized worldwide for Malcolm X Day. So we will be reaching out to them and furthering our outreach with this. Also, hashtag the official hashtag is CMXD. So hashtag claim Malcolm X Day. That's CMXD. We're not asking permission to take a day for our progressive leaders. Hashtag CMXD. You see what people are doing in their cities and things of that nature. So hashtag CMXD. We're claim Malcolm X Day is the official hashtag for that. So
and you all know, as anybody that's in here that's a member of MX Media Group, because y'all know I'm leading it. We are anyone that's from Atlanta, residing in Atlanta, and a member of MX Media Group. Please be prepared for that day, because we're going to have a huge commitment to make sure that it is well known, well documented, and well promoted. MX Day is official.
Well, I'm going to tell the address to the East Atlanta Exxon boycott is 2345 Flat Shows Road.
Okay.
That's at the Exxon.
2324?
2345. 2345
okay.
Flat Shows Road in Atlanta, Georgia. East Atlanta Exxon boycott. The owner is a guy, his American name is Jimmy. He's a guy from the Middle East, and he has been very racist towards his customers and the different people in the community. Like I said, calling people EBT roaches, calling black women black bees, pouring water on homeless couples, on a homeless black couple. So, and he promotes this sort of racism. And we in Atlanta, as a black city, we're not going to allow anti-black racists to be here. That time is over. Not only in Atlanta, but across this country, we're not allowing the only way to end racism is to end racist. So we are going to end the racist establishment, which is that East Atlanta Exxon. So East Atlanta Exxon boycott. You guys could put that hashtag East Atlanta Exxon boycott. Hit up Scapegoat Jones, who will be the guest on the next broadcast
Of Too Raw for TV.
of Too Raw for TV. And he, yeah, so hit him up on Instagram. Tell him that you're listening right now and you're learning about his plight. But you know,
that is okay. So Naima says, "It's too far. It's too raw for TV." Is the profile the picture of a boy? No, that's him. That's just he didn't have hair in that picture. that's Palmetto. That's the Palmetto actually that I met. That's the Palmetto that I met years ago.
I still have the same body though.
But just not the hair. Right. That's actually him. That is he just has no hair, no beard, but that's actually a picture of him. So yes. That is the correct that's the correct
Just hashtag Too Raw for TV,
yeah, that's the correct one. Jamila says run up in his gas station. Yeah, we want to do that too, but we also want we want people to not patronize. Like, you know, we don't want it to exist, but we also don't want we don't want people to patronize. So
well, let me just, Jamila, hit me up on Instagram, Too Raw for TV Takeover. That's the number 2 RAW4, the number 2 RAW, the number 4 TV Takeover, because you know there are different levels of engagement that we definitely had to do with different people that are being racist in our community. Because and I'm gonna say it like this, you know. Racism definitely should be a death penalty thing. You know what I'm saying? At the point of racism. You know what I'm saying? When a racist is at the point of racism, you know, when they're at that exact point, because racism is not prejudice under a different name. This is what they try to sugarcoat what racism is. Racism is the only true racism is systematic racism, which always has the sting of a whip, lynching, murder, enslavement to it. You know what I'm saying? That's the only true racism, and the only true racism is against Black people. You know what I'm saying? The people talk about, oh, you're racist towards Asians. No, that's false. You can't be racist towards any group except for Black people, and Black people could only be racist towards other Black people. You know what I'm saying? That because that's what racism.
Because
the only true racism
Black,
is systemic
right.
racism. Yeah, only true racism is systemic racism. It's not prejudice under a different name. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, that's what they try to sugarcoat it as. Oh, you're being racist because you called him a cracker or something like. No, that's not racist.
That's not racist.
That's not racist at all.
Yeah. There may be some other things.
Yeah, but it may be prejudice.
It may be prejudice.
It may be prejudice. It may be prejudicial. It may
just be mean.
And at times, a lot of times, it's just Black people trying to be funny. You know,
I agree.
A lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So calling somebody a cracker or anything like that is not racist. Only true racism is systematic racism, which is when you know, it's not a victimless crime when these Karens go out there and call the police on unarmed Black groups and say, oh well, they're harassing me and blah blah, because that is an attempt to basically have a live lynching of Black people, because you know if police show up that they will that they may enact violent force on that group of people. So yeah, it's just we have to recognize what racism is, and racism is not someone being prejudiced against somebody else or anything like that. Racism involves people enacting systematic forces against Black people that will lead to their enslavement or death. That's what racism is.
And that needs to be said, as you said earlier. You know, we need to get the language right. We need to stop sugarcoating this stuff. It is what it is, and that's what you're doing. And that's what you're doing when you're trying to call the cops on a 10-year-old child for selling water, which happened out here in Atlanta. You know, without permits, or selling lemonade. You know, when you're calling the cops on a 10-year-old, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a buck. That's what you're calling in the hopes that's what will happen.
Well,
not that this person will stop, but yeah, that this person will lose life.
Well, look what happened to Tamir Rice.
And the 12-year-old that was shot. Yeah, absolutely.
For playing with a gun,
a toy gun
in the park. You know, the police went by and just did a drive-by on them.
A drive-by.
You know, they just did a drive-by on them, didn't ask any questions.
Right.
That's racism. That is racism.
Right.
Now, you know, all this other stuff that they say is racist. Oh, you're racist. No, that's racism. When you know, that's racism. So black people cannot. Black people can't be racist only except towards other black people. We can't be racist towards white people. We can't be racist towards Asians or Arabs or anything like that. Black people could only be racist towards other black people because black people could literally call the police up on another black person and be like, look, come here and blah, blah. And you know what I'm saying? The police are going to come out there and lynch them, you know, lynch that person more than likely. So, you know, black people could only be racist towards other black people. And we have to really get the language right. Tamir Rice was a victim of modern day lynching, and so while recognizing the lynching victims of the past, because those were horrific events that have happened, we have to recognize what's happening right now. Tamir Rice,
recognizing, appreciating, and relating because it's happening. Right,
it's not what's happening.
It's what's happening.
It's happening right now in 2020.
Right. We haven't addressed it as a people, and you know that's why I said too. I love this comment here. Thank you so much, Wisdom. As a black man, I'm so sick and tired of black men that always focus on complaining about black women, yet they don't own anything resourceful nor have any basic survival skills that can be useful. I always say I take that the next step. When people are complaining about anybody, I say, you know what? Yet George Zimmerman's still alive. Like for real. Like, but you mad about this, but George Zimmerman's still alive. You're so mad and you're so upset. Then why is that? And I'm not advocating anybody doing anything. Okay. But what I'm saying is that how are we channeling that anger? Like, what are we doing with that anger? Baby Chain Gang says, there is only one race, the human race. We all bleed red. We all the same color when the lights go off.
That's false. I'm sorry. That's false. That's
false. Let's speak on this. I'm going to let him speak on this. And I'm going to reach for my tail salad.
That's optimistic and idealistic. And it really, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's complete cowardice to say something like that, you know, because it completely glosses over the fact that actual people are dying right now because they are black. Let's keep it real. They are dying because they are black. You know, we all bleed red, and you know, we're all the same color when the lights turn off. That's great, and it's great, and one day maybe as a humanity we can get to that, and I'm working towards that. There are steps that we could take to actually get to that level as a society. We can do that right now, and there are steps that I will be putting out that we could actually do that. I'm not going to talk about on the show because it's not.
They're not ready.
They're not ready for that. But there are steps as society that we can take to get to that.
We really need to hear. I want to be a part of the session. So promise me, make a commitment, and let me know, because I think that we because I just love a plan.
Yeah.
Like I really do. Like I love y'all. I'm a sapiosexual. Like I love a plan. Like give me the formula. Like just let me plug it in.
There are steps as a society we can get to that level. You know, but it's going to take work. You know, you're glossing over the reality that land was stolen, resources were stolen.
Yeah. This was because we were black. This is not because we were human. It was because
black people have been made as Dr. Claude Anderson has eloquently said, a permanent underclass in American society.
Agreed.
So to say that we're all the same color and we all bleed red, but the police are shooting black people and killing black people at a higher rate than they were getting killed in the 1900s during the Red Summer of the 1900s. So that's just a false narrative. That's a false narrative that glosses over and it trivializes these people that are dying. It trivializes. So when you say that you're trivializing Mike Brown, you're trivializing Trayvon Martin.
This is not, that may be, it's very optimistic as it is, and y'all, like I said, I keep the word on me. We can go scripture with it. Like, it's very optimistic and it's beautiful to say or think, but that's not the reality. The reality is that Black people are absolutely regarded and we're disregarded. We are absolutely disregarded. We are seen as a threat. We are promoted to other cultures to be a threat.
Right.
I've known several people that have gotten, when I was in Miami, Florida, I was a member of a church that was white and mostly Hispanic, Latin. And what was routinely done, because a lot of them were seeking their citizenship, they said they would see videos about to beware Black people, to beware Black people. And so that's people that are trying to get their citizenship. They're they're given a test. They go through seeing footage and understanding that if they're going to set up stores and set up shops, that Black people are great consumers, but they are not good business partners. This is what they're taught. Wisdom says there is no such thing as one human race. People need to look up the definition of humans, which is two different races species. So we all are not the same, nor bleed the same, because even bloods have, keep it going, even bloods have their own different unique natural types. Absolutely.
And then you have humanity, and then you have mankind, the kind of man. You know what I'm saying? And not all of us are human.
Humanity.
I mean, I'm just gonna be just straight up. Not everybody that walks on two legs
is human.
Is human. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case. If everybody felt the same, we wouldn't have this situation going on. If we were all human beings, we would treat each other as such.
Right.
Black people have been time and time again the moral compass of America. Yet we are put on as an underclass. You know what I'm saying? We are constantly being stripped of our resources, constantly being just denigrated into society. So we have to recognize what's happening. Let's not gloss over it. Let's not trivialize what's happening. Let's look at it for real, and let's make steps to actually correct it in real time. And we can do that as a people if we choose to.
Real steps, real formulas that we can not just implement ourselves, but that we can teach. So this can be what they call it, duplicated. Replicated. It can be replicated. It can be replicated again and again and again. Because in my next topic, which is definitely something that like I said, I got my pen and paper out. I'm here to learn. Black supremacy. Because just the same way this didn't happen by chance. This is not an accident or coincidence that you'll go into a community and the schools that have the most, the highest Black attendance, they're also the schools doing the poorest. They have the biggest level. They have the lowest level as far as the grading. It's no coincidence. Like, this is a systemic a formula that has been replicated beyond, through the generations to come, so that children can even pick this up and recognize it. When a 5 or 6 year old can recognize that this Black doll, which is dressed in the same clothes as the white doll, it should cost less. When a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old can recognize that, then we have to make sure that our push Black, as I like to call it, not just push back, but our push Black is just as strong. We can't create these formulas and these plans. A 5-year-old and a 6-year-old is not going to know anything about, okay, well, when you go and get into this neighborhood, you go down to City Hall and you get the permits and you sell and you get your business and you run for office. 5-year-old and 6-year-old ain't gonna understand that. What we have to do is work on formulas that are going to be so easy to grasp that even a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old can understand that the value of this it should far exceed what your value far exceeds what another person is trying to bring into you.
Yeah.
The value of melanin, we have to raise the stakes and we have to promote that in every little thing. And every little thing does count. That's why I can't stand when people say, oh, well, the number one thing I hate, people say, oh, nobody's listening to the words on that music. Nobody's listening to the words in that song. Like, even that song, Life is Good. Y'all know one of my guilty pleasures is Drake. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I just can't. I can't even lie, y'all. It's like I want to not like him, but the brother just,
he's a great lyricist.
The lyrics is live. It's live. It's live. His lyrics are just bananas. So on his song, Life is Good. I mean, well, it was Future's song, but y'all, when Future came on, I just like, man, this song immediately has lost its value. Children have got to be. My son is 11. He even picked that up. He was like, man, this song got bad. He said that immediately once Future come on, because even his voice, Drake up there, he's smoothing and he rhyming and he got he putting it together right. Yeah, Future come on. I got and I'm like, oh man, this song. And my son said, yeah, this song just got bad. It just got bad. And so my daughter said, so why y'all still listening to it? So that's what her head was like. She's like, why y'all still have it on? But that's the way we've got to present. We've got to have a Drake approach that, no matter what the age is, no matter what the class is or the status is or what have you, someone that looks like us should be able to look at us and say, that's valuable.
Mm-hmm.
That's valuable. That's worth something. So our next class today, I'm about to put on my glasses, y'all, because we in school, we learn today. And speaking of school, welcome, Miss Roots Online Education. Thank you. And I did get your email. I didn't respond, but I did get your email, and you were absolutely right. And I am absolutely supporting you and building up your educational venue and your compound in the motherland. Absolutely. Erica Howard says they better be glad that we have morals, because if not, they would all be dead by now due to the way they have mistreated us. That's we don't get into that one too. And we're gonna drop this link in about 15 minutes, but I'm gonna let brother Palmetto get into Black supremacy, because even when he said the first time he told me that, I was just like, ooh, I don't even like the way that just sounds great. Tell me more about that. Okay, how you came up with it.
Well,
yes,
I can't say that I came up with the term Black supremacy. I am the ambassador and the prophet of Black supremacy. I can't say that I come up with, but it is Black people's true culture. You gotta understand that Black people in America, we are given our culture, and it's completely contrived by the media. It's completely contrived by rap music and movies, and it's completely generated. It's completely false. It's a completely false culture. So Black supremacy is our only true culture. Now let me do this, because I want to juxtapose white supremacy and Black supremacy. White supremacy is a false construct that is rules, regulations, and goodies and giveaways to pink people for shedding Black blood, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So that's what white supremacy is. There's no such thing as white supremacy. White supremacy is a completely false construct. If you look at the origins of the so-called white race, even that term is racist. It's so if a pink person calls themselves white, that's racist. That means they're vying for white privilege. They're vying for these giveaways and goodies that are given to these so-called white people. So white supremacy is a completely false construct based on racism and based on anti-Black hatred and murder and death. Black supremacy is the complete 180 degrees of that. Is a complete 180 degrees of that. Black supremacy is simply Black people going into their higher selves. Black people becoming their most supreme selves by any means necessary. Black people becoming their most supreme self by any means necessary is Black supremacy. You know what I'm saying? That's what black supremacy is. If you guys been following the movement to Raw for TV, you guys know I've been a proponent of black supremacy. I mean, I'm the ambassador of black supremacy, and also I have been. It's not the title I've been given that I just made up myself, but people have given me the title of prophet, the prophet of black supremacy. So you know that's one of the things as well. So black supremacy is black people becoming their higher selves, becoming God. You know what I'm saying? Becoming that God-like self. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's our true culture. It's not Boys in the Hood or Soul Food or these movies that they say are black culture. These are just false images and false constructs of black people that they say that they want to make our culture. They a lot of people in this election, like we were talking about the election earlier, they say that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris weren't they weren't listening to black people. They weren't they weren't listening to what they were saying. People wanted tangibles, people wanted some sort of something for their vote, and they weren't listening to black people. Yeah, they were. They were actually promoting to this black person that they have created in the media.
Come
on,
what
I'm saying? The Democrats were actually they were
hot sauce and platinum stripper plan. Yeah. Hey.
Exactly. They created this. They have created the media has created this sort of black person, via the movies and rap music and things of that nature. Who they said that is they say is part of the culture. Yeah. That's black culture. That's the culture. Strippers and the hot sauce and soul food and shooting up and pouring a 40 out, and that they say that's black culture.
You know what I'm saying? And people swear, my gosh, with that pouring the 40 out thing, like the first time I think I saw that was in Cooley High. But I didn't see Cooley High until I think I was 15. Because that was the first time even that I realized that it's so hard to say goodbye. Was like my dad had told us it was a remake, but I didn't know that the movie and the whole, y'all know that Boyz II Men song, Philly, stand up 215. And I remember like people that I grew up with, they were saying they had never seen that either, right? And now those same people swear that was always something they did. Yeah. I'm like, they call that, what's it called? The Mandela effect? The Mandela effect, let me call it that. When you have a memory of something, but it's not right, but it's not true. Because I'm like, these same people, I went to school with these same people, and they were saying, we were all just sitting around laughing about how like that's stupid and that's silly, and they wasting liquor or whatever we said. Yeah. And now these same people now in their 30s and 40s, they're like, oh, we always did that too. Yeah, we always poured a little something out for the homie. I was like, nah, I remember, dude. Well, I remember being 13, 14 saying that. That was crazy.
Well, let me say this, because a lot of these media contrived images are shadows of memories that we have done in the past. Like we are people that have poured out libation. We pour out
right. That's something that we have done as a people. But what I was saying was that individually, a lot of people have not that claim that they always have. Yeah, it's like you're adopting a part of a culture of one of which you really. Yeah. That really ain't you. Yeah. Like the same people that sit around and they talking about some hot sauce. And I'm sorry if y'all talking about
saying that she smoked weed on Tupac. She was in school before Tupac even came out.
Wow.
Like just stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they just try to appeal to this fake black person that they created. That's why they have the hot sauce. That's why they talk about strippers. They
swear that everybody black is getting down like that.
Yeah, they talk about, I smoked weed too. Even Obama did that. Even Obama tried to appeal to this fake black person, talking about, I inhaled and all this other stuff. And he was appealing to this fake black person that's media contrived, that they try to make the forefront of black culture. The only black culture is black supremacy. And and it's the culture that is constantly evolving and constantly.
That's the only black culture I want to be a part of, brother. That's the only black culture I want to be a part of. I'm, so serious when I say that. And I really, what did you think about that whole twerk gate situation over in Texas? Did you hear about this? Where the owner of the restaurant came out and gave a speech. That wasn't in Texas. What was it, New York?
I think.
I thought it was. Texas.
Was it in Texas?
Okay. So the reason why I say New York was because I saw the original story from the New York Post. Mm-hmm. If anybody knows where that incident happened, please put it in the chat. But I do think it was Texas. Because even the places that they talked about said, it felt like it was Texas when he said go down the street to Pride and Pink. I said, oh, that sounds like a Texas.
Really?
That sounds like that's next to a Texas Roadhouse somewhere over there. Yeah, I don't know. But what did you think about that situation in general?
Well, this is what I have to say about this situation. That's again. Okay, twerking.
Mapuka, which we know, okay, yeah, it may be something that came and was derived from African culture.
Exactly.
But you are not doing it. It's a shadow. But you are not calling out. You are not pleasing the king. When ladies, I don't know what kings y'all are calling out when y'all are twerking.
Well, it's exploitation of these memories that we've had.
Yeah.
And you have these people that have been raised on YouTube and raised on Facebook and raised on social media, you know what I'm saying? And, and it also is just when we go into these Black establishments, when these people that are raised on these things go into these Black establishments, there is no, they don't value them as much as they would, these pink owned and operated establishments, because that would be not acceptable anywhere. You can't even twerk at McDonald's. They're gonna be like, get out.
Oh my gosh,
they're not gonna take that. They're not gonna
I'm gonna drop it. Naima didn't hear about the story. Okay, so Naima. All right, so it was a business, a restaurant, not even like, you know what I mean, a restaurant, not like no doctor's office or what have you, but a restaurant. And there was a woman who they were playing WAP. They were playing WAP because they have a DJ at the restaurant. So the DJ was playing live music and he played WAP, and some girls. You said what?
I think it was a couple.
It was a couple when they were twerking, but I think because he had talked to them 3 times, but the one that it was one that continued to do it after the multiple times. That
complete disrespect of the
complete disrespect.
I mean, they wouldn't do that at any white establishment.
They're calling it twerkgate.
Yeah, that Black people would not. We go in and we respect white establishments. We respect white people. The best way to tell if a Black person is telling the truth is to put a pink person in front of them. You know what I'm saying? And then
that's huge. Walk that back, because I love that. Walk that back.
The best way to tell if a Black person is telling the truth is put a pink person in front of them.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because this pink person has been
symbolic with judges. Yeah.
And their God is pink.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Their God is a pink person. You know what I'm saying? Every time Black people see one of these people, they attribute they attribute God-like qualities to them. They attribute that to them. That's why calling pink people white is so detrimental. It is so, because we always have associated white with divinity, white with godliness. You know what I'm saying? That's before white people were even around. You know what I'm saying? I'll go into a little bit of the origins, the racist origins of the term and of white, and using it as a racial identification. White was a term is a status that was used by the ancient Moors. So, okay, for example, if Courtney was a person of high status, and at those times she would be Courtney Omega the White. You know what I'm saying? So this was a status that was given to people. You know what I'm saying? So when the Moors were in Europe and they were ruling at that time, that's the kind of things that they would use. You know what I'm saying? So after the worldwide fight against the Moors, this worldwide race war that happened, that is still happening, they took this status of white of white, that meant royalty, that meant divine, and they applied it to this racial identity of this group of slave owners that that were in America. You know what I'm saying? So that's who popularized this racial identification of white. So yeah, so to identify these pink people as white is sort of a mind trick, you know what I'm saying, on black people. So as long as we identify them as white, they are going to be looked at as something that is greater than, you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
So we have to get the language right and stop identifying these people
right
as white. And they had and oh, well, I'm gonna go into that a little bit later because that's one of the things.
So Naima, and just to let you know, I'm about to drop the link to the story in the room, but just to give you a heads up, the owner comes out after 3 times not coming out, but just kind of sending word out, sending staff out, and then he personally came out and said, hey, just he kind of just he addressed the room. He read the room literally and figuratively. He read the entire room, and he basically also said to if anybody had a problem with what he was saying, or if anybody want to continue to watching women come in there and twerk, they could get the F out of his establishment too. And so many people were like, oh, he just should have always kept it professional. He should never have used the F word. He shouldn't be dropping these F bombs. And then I saw another content creator, y'all, talking about the furniture was cheap. Y'all, for real, y'all. For real. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said.
These same people,
had the nerve to say the furniture was cheap.
These same people were not going to Walmart. They wouldn't go to Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't go to McDonald's before. But you're talking about a sit-down restaurant.
A sit-down restaurant, which everybody was seated down.
Yeah,
nobody was even seated at bars.
I mean, it definitely had, it sounded like a nice establishment.
And it looked like it too. It looked like it didn't look hood to me. And y'all, I don't like hood. It did not look hood.
Yeah, so to go into a black establishment and do these sort of things that it just shows the mentality of black people. We do not regard each other in high esteem. That's why that's why it's so. The weakest thing for a black person to do is to kill another black person. You can't say they wouldn't go into Wendy's and Walmart because they probably have, but y'all wouldn't take that into Chick-fil-A. Oh, they'll do it like I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. They'll do a little video clip and then stop.
But on the real, they won't take that into Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A ain't got no leather, no plush in it whatsoever.
But they're not going to do it after somebody says, "Hey, don't do that."
Yeah,
they're going to stop. They're going to stop. So it just shows how a lot of our people. That's why black people need black supremacy. You know what I'm saying? That's why black people's only saving grace is black supremacy.
Agreed. That's why, like I said, we need to know. It needs to be so simplified that a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old can look at the two and say, "Oh no, I'd rather go with this. I'd rather go with that." Mm-hmm. So we are about to drop the link. If anybody wants to come up and ask Brother Palmetto any questions. I'm super hungry. I'm just gonna eat. I'm not even waiting for him no more because he gonna talk.
I was trying to wait.
He's gonna talk. No, like people like this. They want to see it. They want to see you enjoying that kale. They want to see it. Thank you so much, Wisdom. Wisdom is up here being a key moderator. But we are going to drop the link, and I am going to link that story because I think it is something that we really need to start checking. This is self-care, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. When we check, if you can't check your sister, your aunt, your whatever, and I'm telling y'all, I've done it. And did I have to actually block a few of my family members? Yeah, because they didn't appreciate it. But I don't think this is when it comes down to saying, okay, you have to want the truth more than you want to be liked, more than you want that invite to I'm gonna use myself, that invite to the Thanksgiving. You know, I had, you know, a family member that just celebrated, you know, buying a, you know, a beautiful home, and I know I wasn't invited, but that's all right. Exactly. No. Hey, Mindy Knowledge, how are you? No, you don't want to go to a restaurant and see people twerking. Like I said, they wouldn't have those same women would not have gone to Chick-fil-A and dreamed of it. Now, Chick-fil-A gonna have WAP playing? No. And so some people said that too. They were like, well, if they don't want people to dance, then why would they play something like that song? That's not, yeah, that's like,
so if someone okay,
y'all,
so
that's like saying, do you go to a strip club and you just take off your clothes?
Yeah, or some random guy, or some random guy is like, oh, if some random guy drove off the last thing walk and then he's like, oh, twerk something, shorty. You're gonna just bust it open right there? Like, come on now. Stop. That's not a good excuse. It's unacceptable behavior. It's unacceptable.
And I can honestly say I wouldn't have. I don't vibe with Cardi B. Never have since day one.
Oh, you went in about WAP.
So yeah, no, like WAP is please. Yeah. Hey KK.
Yeah,
I don't play when it comes to that. I don't care. And even before that, like the whole, even with her Bodak Yellow, like I just never really vibe with Cardi B anyway. And with Meg, y'all, it's a no for me. Even though that Body Yaddy is all right, it's hot. Like the little, you know, I've seen some of the little challenges, but a whole body of work, no pun intended, I'm not interested in from Meg Thee Stallion. I'm really not. Like, I really feel like if you can make quality material or content, then you would be making it. I'm not going to continue to ascribe to that whole false thinking of, oh no, that's just not what people want to see. Now it comes to a point where it's not about what people want to see. Like I think, like look at Nas, for example. Like even though, you know, Nas used to get my Michael B. Jordan voice. He don't get it no more. But he used to get my Michael B. Jordan voice. But you know, Nas, like it's like what Jay-Z said. I made an album, you know, talking about common sense, and I ain't done that since or whatever. I ain't made another one like that since. Because yes, it may not do well, but at least give me the content to let me know you can do it. Then you can go and say, okay, well, it didn't sell. But Cardi B's example was that song, Be Careful. No, honey, that's just you not being able to do it. Yeah. That's why you had to resort back to making songs about your puss. Yeah. Because you can't make songs about anything else of quality. Be Careful was not a hot track. I don't care what type of production you put on it. It just wasn't. As a matter of fact, I don't care what nobody say. I'll even say, you know, you could have put Bad Baby on WAP and it still would have been a hit. It's not Cardi. It still just would have been, just because, you know, that you talking nasty, and Meg is what probably made that song anyway. It's not you. Cardi B has no real skill.
Well, let me say this: all these rappers appeal to this fake Black person. You know what I'm saying? All of these rappers that are promoted are part of this fake Black culture that they try to promote and say, oh, this is Black people. So, you know, if we talk about hip hop and the direction of hip hop, it was going into a very conscious direction at one point. And it was purposely pushed in the direction that it was going now. You know what I'm saying? These rappers are basically caricatures of, you know, they're like cartoon characters, you know what I'm saying? And they fake represent Black people, and they say this is culture, this is for the culture, and that's not rap and hip hop is not it's not Black culture. Matter of fact, it's the actual opposite of Black culture. What is promoted as hip hop, and the mainstream hip hop is anti-Black culture. You know, so when you talk about that stuff, it's just they are and there's no, and that's the exact reason why Joe Biden wants to be interviewed, sought out Cardi B to be interviewed by her because she appeals to this fake black person that they created, that some of our people have unfortunately fell into this trap of ascribing to, because that is looked at as acceptable. The black thug is looked at as acceptable. No matter, even though they are punished, what I'm saying, that's acceptable black behavior. Excuse me. The strippers and all of this stuff that's looked at as acceptable black behavior, and and tolerated to a degree. You know what I'm saying? When you have people like me, you know what I'm saying? Police don't tolerate people like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of the tolerated parts of black society, because they cannot, they haven't created me, so they don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
They can't,
There.
they only like the things that they can control. The Cardi B's they can control. These other rappers they can control. When you talk about real black supremacy, you can't control black supremacy. You can't control black supremacy. You can't control someone that is becoming God. How can you control God? You can't control God. You know what I'm saying?
You can't control God. Oh, because come on, you omnipotent. Okay, so we have a couple of. So I did look it up. I just dropped the link into the channel. It was it's not. I didn't read where. I just went to the video. Because the one that I saw that was the one that I saw that was said that the one that I saw from the New York Post. Okay, that's who posted it first. So that's what I did. But KK, I see what you're saying. I hear you. But you said dude was ignorant as hell to curse out all black people instead of asking the lady to leave or threatened to call the police, because if Becky did it with Ben Viral, some black men and they anti-black women. Nah, I don't agree there. I don't agree there. Like, I see what you're saying, but I don't agree there. Oh, I'm blow up till I blow up. Thank you.
We need to stop calling police. Like, why is that the first to go to call police?
And you know what I thought was interesting about you saying that? Because another content creator, female, huge following, she said that's what he should have done. He just should have called the police. He shouldn't have. No. He shouldn't have dressed her. He just should have called the police.
That's what I'm saying. That's the white god complex. We call white zaddy when things get when we have issues with each other. We need to resolve these issues with ourselves. Calling white zaddy whenever there's an issue amongst ourselves is not the solution. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes it leads to more problems and more issues. So he calls white zaddy. Now the woman gets shot. Okay. What? She gets shot. She gets drugged out,
and her boob gets exposed. Yeah, and then, but y'all would have said, this is why I said to that, and I said this in the room to that, and it was a lot of people in the room. It was about 20 people in the room. So I don't know if it was felt or heard by the content creator, but I said y'all surely would have had a problem with that if a viral video was circulating and had her being drugged out. Because y'all know how it goes in those situations, especially if you were standing on top. And y'all, I had never seen the picture. I had just seen him and what he did. But apparently, this lady was full out leg spread on top of the table. Like, no, it was crazy. So I did post it. I don't know what happened to it. I can post it again in the room. I think I didn't press return after it. Let me see.
But let's find out where it was.
Okay.
I don't think it was in Texas. But I mean, we like calling the police or any sort of pink person that we feel has authority is not the right thing to do.
I didn't see dudes dancing on the table. I didn't see no dudes dancing on the table. KK, not from what I saw. Like I said, I'm not really following the story heavy like that, but I'm just reacting to the fact of what people were reacting to what he said. Mm-hmm. And I just don't agree. Fraudy B is celebrated because she is going along with their agenda. True. Dude, there's no such thing as black supremacists. See, the God made that BS up, and we can't be racist.
Okay. I was saying what black supremacy is black people becoming God. if you don't, if you will, if okay, so if it may not exist to you, and it's not, it hasn't been clearly defined. That's why I'm defining it here, on this broadcast. You know, but you know, black supremacy is not white supremacy and blackface. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, it is completely the 180 degrees difference from what white supremacy is. It's simply black people becoming more of their God self, you know, and walking that divine path. So that's what black supremacy is. It's not rules and regulations and this and that and codes and laws and gifts and goodies, you know what I'm saying, which what white supremacy is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you don't have to believe in it to make it true. You know what I'm saying? Before there was anything, there was black supremacy. Before there was you, there was black supremacy. Before there was anything,
Okay.
black supremacy existed. So
thank you so much. Well, I would like to see the footage too. I just haven't seen it. Hey, Brother Bakari, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It says it doesn't. Charlemagne the God made that mess up for a book.
Solomon the God,
I dropped.
Solomon the God
didn't create that state that word.
He hasn't created.
But I did drop the link. If anybody wants to come up and talk to Brother Palmetto about Black supremacy, Malcolm X Day, the Exxon boycott, or Twerkgate. If y'all want to come up and for we're gonna do this for about 30 more minutes. If you want to come up and have any conversation, definitely you are welcome. You said it's not me. I know. It's not me. I know. I've been pro-Black for 16 to 20 years, studying it off and on forever. It happened in Dallas. I told you, I thought it was Texas. Okay. I'm telling you, I was like, the places that he named, I was like, well, I knew it's starting with some places in Florida too.
Thank you.
But I was like, I didn't know it was Florida.
Naima.
Thank you, Naima.
Thank you, Naima.
Okay, Omega, you should go see the video so you can understand where we're coming from when we say that. No, I did see the video. I saw the video of him coming out. I didn't see the video of her, but in the post that I just put up, I just put it up and pinned it. That was the first time I saw the picture of him on it. So this is KK coming up to the stream. All right.
Hey. I'm on my way out to the store.
Okay. Hi. Welcome, KK.
Hey, peace, KK. How are you doing?
Yes. Sir, that is not a real word. That is something that was made up for his book, and I've heard that several other times because we don't have anything systematically. Now, let me finish before you cut me off. And I also, it's not a real word. That's something that white people made up also in reverse, most likely too, because we don't have anything systematically. We don't run or own anything. We don't have that type of power or to lock out people in businesses or an economical group. It's several things. So that's why I say people can't be that or be racist.
Okay.
We can be biased or something like that.
Let me say this. Can I say this?
Yeah.
Can I say this? That
You'll cut me off.
Do you run yourself? Do you run
yourself?
Yeah,
I run myself.
Do you have okay, Black supremacy is Black people becoming their higher selves. That's it.
Yeah, I know I know that part.
Black people becoming God. That's what Black supremacy is.
Right.
It is not.
And I read Niggas to God about 20 years ago.
No. Charlemagne the God did not create it. Charlemagne the God.
I'm not talking about Charlemagne the God though. Charlemagne the God didn't make that up as a book. That is not a word. That's not a word. That's something that you coining the word. That's that you want to coin the word.
Well, Black supremacy doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, because and I'll give you a little bit of history of Black supremacy. It actually was popularized.
No, I don't need the history because I've been pro-Black a long time, sir.
Okay, well, did you know that the Rastas chant Black supremacy? And this was back when in the early 1900s. This is back in 1930s. That the Rastas.
I never heard that in my 30-something plus years in traveling the world.
actually, there's they have a book and it's subscribed to the I keep on messing up his name.
Haile Selassie, you mean?
Yeah, and they chant Black supremacy. So this is way
Yeah,
before
I'm familiar with him.
This is way before even I was born. So you have these. So Rastas popularized the black supremacy. So to say that Black supremacy
they
doesn't
just started
exist,
hollering at the last couple of years, sir. That's what I'm telling you here.
Oh no! It's been hollered at the mainstream.
No. I'm telling you right now. I'm talking about in popular media. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Mainstream mayonnaise media doesn't make anything except for problems for black people.
Well, I know what's his name made it up in the main media. I can source that.
Media popularized. Okay, whatever mainstream mayonnaise media popularizes.
No, it was a black guy that did it, not a white man. For that one.
It doesn't. Terry Crews said Black supremacy recently. He doesn't know what Black supremacy is.
Terry Crews is a coon. So he's a coon. We already know that.
Okay,
I'm
telling you what I'm telling you what Black supremacy is, and that's what it is. Because we had to define our own reality. So that's what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So whether you believe
your reality,
Black supremacy
right?
Okay, the fact that I'm even here is the proof that Black supremacy exists. So whatever you say that Black supremacy doesn't exist and all this stuff like that, Black supremacy existed before you were born. It existed before I was born. It existed before there was even a planet. Before there was anything, there was Black supremacy because it was all darkness. It was all darkness, and from darkness comes light. We have to create our own light, and Black supremacy is about creating your own light.
Right, and religion is not real. I get all that. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they haven't coined the Black supremacy in America.
Okay, well, it is just a detriment to you as a Black person to not believe in Black supremacy.
Are you? You not ADOS?
I further implore you. So I further implore you to look see what Black supremacy. I am from South Carolina. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh,
you said where am I from? I said
okay, never mind.
South Carolina.
You like being a roster unless your family.
You said
I trained under a roster since I was like 18. So a roster and a lot of different types of pro-Black people. Marcus Garvey, all types. Mm-hmm. So I'm not way before you two. I have to enlighten a lot of people.
Just because you're pro-Black doesn't mean anything.
It's different types of pro-Black.
You could be white and pro-Black. You could be pink and pro-Black.
No, you know what I'm saying? Pink and pro-Black. There's no such thing. No, that's a lie. You have to be Black to be pro-Black. And
yes, they can. That's why the Black Lives Matter. That's why the Black Lives Matter.
No, that's bullshit. We already know what Black Lives Matter is. Yes. We know it's run by gay people and a bunch of this and that. And white people have that movement. I got that.
So yeah, I don't ascribe to being pro-Black.
Just like you just coined it different.
Black supremacy. Which Malcolm X also, if you look it up, Malcolm X also ascribed to be a Black supremacist as well. You know what I'm saying? So look that up. You know what I'm saying? They said that the NOI was a Black supremacy movement. They just making
it popular. That's all. I'm not wrong.
Well, I'm making it popular,
and I have mine, so I can prove mine too. So.
Well, it's only a detriment to you. It doesn't matter what you believe.
It's not going to be a detriment. It's going to be a detriment to you.
Is or not. I ascribe.
I already know who I am. I've been knowing myself since I was 20, and that was a long ass time ago. Very long time ago.
I ascribe to Black supremacy, and it doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not.
Right, and don't whatever you want to call yourself, dude. Whatever. I know who I am. Too, so. I never dated out, and I probably never will. So.
Okay. Well, you probably know. So there's a possibility. You just gave yourself
it's not no possibility. No, it's not no possibility. I just said it the way I said it. So.
Okay. Well,
back to the other thing. The guy had other footage of men stomping and dancing on a food station. It was a whole bunch of men doing the same thing. He did not yell and curse them out in the restaurant twerk thing. I never said that it was right, but it was wrong for him to curse out majority of all his Black patrons. He should have just checked her, not really went in on her, because most professional people don't, or just called or threatened at least to call the police. I'm not saying like just call the police for every little thing.
No, I don't agree.
You don't disrespect people like that. No, that's how you talk to black women. So if somebody disrespects you, or if I had a thing, it'd be differently. It'd be different.
Well, she disrespected his establishment.
And I'm not one of those people that's just gonna side with you or me and just to say you right. No, I'm not one of those people. I use my own independent thinking and research.
I know.
And not YouTube all the time.
I get that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of black people are purposely disagreeable to other black people. I get it. There's a level of programming. There's a level of programming that you have to.
Correct.
It's a level of programming that you do have to get, and that's what Black supremacy is important, because
I don't need any more programming because I don't watch TV. I read, and when I want to find out something, I do my own research.
Well, we have.
I intertwine with other people's opinions and facts, because a lot of people say they pro-black and they're not pro-black. So it's different types of pro-blacks, black supremacists, whatever you want to call yourself, but for the people. Well,
Malcolm X calls himself a black supremacist as well, so I'm in good company. Well, let me say it like this. We have been taught to be so disagreeable to one another, and the fact where we could even agree, but we're so disagreeable to each other. You know what I'm saying? You're pro-black, you shouldn't be even disagreeing with what I'm saying. If you're pro-black,
but I'm just saying though, the word. That's how you point and have your own definition of it.
Right.
And you show your facts and your proof, and that's fine.
Right.
That's fine with me. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying.
Right. And
I'm saying they making it trendy, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. They trying to make it trendy a few years ago.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. When he wrote the book, he basically did try to coin it.
It doesn't matter about trends. Trends, I don't follow trends.
It's not about that. You're not listening to what I'm saying either, though. You missed what I said. To squash what I say to hear what you saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying. You just talking.
No, I love what you're saying.
That's like being unfair. Like, I'm listening to you, but then you're not listening to my opinion.
No,
because there's a lot of males that is pro-blacks, and they try to crush black women's opinions, and I get sick of that. Like, that's why I like a lot of parts in this sector. I don't deal with a lot of people because they hate that.
Yeah.
No, they do. They dismiss black women's opinions.
I truly value what you're saying. I
hear what you're saying too. Fair, whether we disagree or agree.
And really what you're saying is exemplifying why black supremacy needs to be the prominent force in black culture. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to get past these layers of programming where we are purposely disagreeable to each other. See, like me and you are agreeing right now. You know what I'm saying? But because of the layers of programming, we have been trained to be purposely disagreeable to one another. And so the fact,
and we trained to be anti-black with each other too, also, and try to be super hard on each other.
Right, and even I'll agree with you on this. Even how the guy came out there, the owner,
they both was wrong. I never said that.
Should he have come out there and cursed at those women like that? Cursed at those women like that?
Because it wasn't women. It was one woman that was doing it.
Absolutely not. I agree that he shouldn't have came out there in the manner.
He should have just said, "Yo, you just have to go pack your stuff. The meal's on me. Please don't come back. You're not welcome in my establishment."
Right.
Or I asked you once or twice, and that would have been the end of it. Whether you threatened to call the police or not, it still wouldn't be wrong. I'm not saying like calling a whole bunch of policemen just for that.
I don't agree with calling the police on any situation at all. You know what I'm
saying? It depends on what it is. If I got called, I'm gonna call. The hell with that. I usually don't call. I really don't call on a lot of mails, and I only support people that support me. That's how I am.
I would never call the police. I don't call the police.
It depends. But if she wouldn't stop doing what she was doing, what else you supposed to do?
Don't call the police. Deal with it.
No, I said, what's the next step? I didn't ask you that part. I got you on that. I understood that.
We have to deal with our affairs ourselves. What the police going to do? They're going to come in there and deal with it.
I asked you for the resolution. What would have been the next step? You're not listening to.
I am listening to you.
I think
man, you didn't want to answer it.
It might have also been that might have been received well.
No, not cursing her out.
Just say, hey,
people with professional restaurants and diners and millionaires, they don't do that. He did curse her out. What do you mean?
Curse her out.
So you think that was acceptable for me to just curse you out?
I mean, but this is why I say, and like I said, I don't think
That's crazy as hell, though.
I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have came out.
He should have been like, "Hey, just get down or get your ass in," like anything. No, he just said, "I don't need y'all money. Y'all can get the fuck." Yes, he did curse her out. He did. He cursed out the whole area.
Yeah, he did. He did use
the whole area. And that was unprofessional. You don't see other people doing it at they high end, and that's not a fancy restaurant.
One moment.
What?
Okay, one moment. We're not getting anywhere with
we're like we agree with each other. It's like,
yeah, I think that you all are in agreement.
Like that's what I'm
we're kind of going in circles.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do want to acknowledge that we do have another brother that just joined the panel, and Brother Bakari, welcome. But I definitely hear what you're saying in regards to what the reason why I say that he didn't curse her out is because I felt like he didn't call her out her name cursing. And I feel like that is, as we said, get the language right. That is to be cursing out. If he would have said,
no, that's not.
You know your ass.
I get you.
That's a curse out.
Yeah, I got you.
He
did snap on her.
Yeah, he snapped on her, absolutely. But I don't feel like he cursed her out. But
I feel like he cursed her out.
Your final
point,
KK,
both parts was wrong.
I want you to make your final point. Cool. We want Brother Bakari to have his time to speak to Brother Palmetto, and for him to make sure that what he is stating now. Okay, so is there anything that you would like to say in final? Because I know you said you were on the way to the store. KK.
No, we just had different wordings of it. That's all. So that's all. That's the only thing, though. But we don't use the black supremacist word, though. So that's all. Okay.
Well, you may not, but yeah, we may, but you may not. But we understand. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming through, KK. Brother Bakari, how are you tonight?
I'm absolutely magnificent. And you?
You hear me okay?
Yes, I'm good.
Can you hear me? Well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
All right. I called it. I started a little late. I'm glad to see the brother with that red, black, and green flag, because I'm most definitely a pro-black, Pan-African with a revolutionary mindset. But what I heard y'all talking about was, and I'm going to be honest, I watched the whole video, and I don't know if anybody in this chat or the panel ever owned a store where they will have more than one customer they're dealing with. He was absolutely wrong.
That's what I said. That's what I said. These people are talking their own businesses.
That one customer who was on the table dancing on his mirror was wrong. So you deal with that person. But to tell your whole restaurant, I don't need your money. I own the restaurant and the building. Y'all can get the fuck out. That's not how you deal with your customers. But I can say this, for black people that agree with that, black people are so used to being disrespected, they don't understand what disrespect is when it comes from, because if that was a white person, black people would be in an uproar. But because it was a white man, because it was a black man that cursed out black women, people seem to make like it's okay, because for some strange reason we tend to make excuses for our men regardless of what they do. Let me give you this one example, because I can't be long, but just remember when the R. Kelly thing was all on TV. I didn't watch it because I stopped listening to R. Kelly. My kids 16 and 17, they'll tell you R. Kelly song, they've never heard an R. Kelly song in my house. I stopped listening to R. Kelly when I saw him pee on that little girl. I saw that tape. But you find people that will make excuses for him and try to figure out something is wrong with him and forget the little black girl. What happened to men who say we are going to protect our women? That woman was wrong. He should have dealt with her for standing on his table or in his booth and dancing the hands all over the glass. But to tell everybody in there, I don't need your money. I own the restaurant and the building. You can and get the fuck out. That's absolute bad business if you do it to anybody else. But if you do it to a black woman, it's not bad business, because black men, we have allowed society to make our women the damn doormat to society. Everybody can wipe their feet on our women, and we don't even stand up for them. I don't give a damn if he's black or not. He was wrong. Handle the person that's doing it. You don't cuss out every woman back there, because if that was my woman or my wife or my daughter in there, I would have just said, y'all get up, give him your receipt, tell him you want your money back, and wish his business well. That's what I would have done.
I understand, and again, KK, we not gonna tell nobody to shut up here. We not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you and I talk beyond the boards. We do. We gonna be respectful. And Snug and I talk beyond the boards too. Y'all, like I said, go ahead. We just not gonna do that here. You can do that somewhere else, but you ain't gonna do it here. Promise you that. Now you can go around and say Courtney was wrong on her channel. Courtney disrespecting a black woman. You can say what you want, but you're not gonna do that here. To your point, isn't that great? Oh my gosh, look at that live reaction, y'all. That kale salad is going down, brother. I did a special on that one, bro. I did a special on that one. And Snug was asked earlier, what other vegetables do you have? Palmetto has a whole garden growing downstairs. He didn't even tell me. I was like, here I was trying to stop for extra vegetables. He got a whole nursery growing downstairs. But at any rate, Brother Bakari, I don't agree with the fact that he was saying that to the entire restaurant. He said if anybody disagreed with what he was talking about in regards to not wanting that happening at his establishment, could get out. Could get the F out. If the language, like we said, you got to get the language right. But nah. But I think also too, you were not appreciating that none of those women in there would have done that at Chick-fil-A. They wouldn't have.
Guess what, Courtney? Chick-fil-A would not have nook when you buck on when you walk in there either. You ever heard the saying?
I said that earlier.
Have you ever heard the saying, music soothes the savage beast?
Yeah.
So if it can soothe the savage beast, it can also bring out other things. Was it a restaurant or a club when you first turned on the video? Only thing I'm saying, I'm not saying I would never go back to his place. What I'm saying is that day I would have left, because you should only speak. If you came in my electronics store and I didn't like the way you and Palmetto and KK was messing with a television or anything, or my PS5, and the people that in your chat is also in my electronics store, because I'm upset with you, I can't turn and tell them, if y'all don't like what I said, y'all can get the fuck out, because I own the store. See, for me, it's no different than you going into an Arab store. 15 black people have stolen from these people's store before we walk in. But now that those 15 people have stolen, every black person is being judged by that individual. So because you have other people in there, that's why I'm thinking from the business aspect of it. You shouldn't cuss out all of your customers because of 3 customers.
Well, can I say this, Brother Bakari? Because you made some great points. You made some great points. And I'm trying to make sure there's a
because it's extra. Okay, FR.
Which is great, by the way. No, definitely.
I be trying to tell him. Pavetta.
Let me say this. And what you said, should the brother have done that? Should he have went and cursed those ladies out? And as I was telling the sister KK earlier, no, I don't think he handled the situation like he should, like he could have if in optimum conditions. You know what I'm saying? Like But this is what I do believe. I think Black people need to handle their own affairs by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he did handle that affair without trying to bring white Jesus, i.e., the police, into this establishment, you know, I give him kudos for that. Um, Now being disrespectful to Black women, um, I can see how you can say that. And we definitely, I agree with protecting the Black woman by any means necessary at any cost and at all costs. Um, you know, but so you know, I think he should address that woman herself. You know what I'm saying? He should have addressed that lady herself and brought her out of there. So should he have? I mean, is there a level of decorum he should have? He should have had with his customers? Absolutely. Um, but we had to address the elephant in the room that these people would not disrespect a white establishment like that. You know what I'm saying? We only go into our Black establishments and disrespect our own people like this. You know what I'm saying? And that's including him. And that's why I'll bring it back to the point why Black supremacy is so important because you know we had to recognize and realize when we look into ourselves and see each other as divine beings, we treat each other differently. You know what I'm saying? If we look at each other as a divine being, we would treat each other differently. So so that so yes, could he have handled that situation differently? Yes, but it wouldn't have went viral. We wouldn't have been talking about it right now. You know what I'm saying? Um, do I believe in Black people handling their own affairs in their own places? Yes. So ultimately, you know, I feel that, I mean, if it cost him business, okay. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously fine with it. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously fine with the business that it would have cost him, you know? So I believe in Black people handling their own affairs. You know what I'm saying? And not interjecting other people and these terrorists, i.e. the police, and to get involved in our affairs. You know what I'm saying? So I think in that standpoint, that he was absolutely 100% correct. But I do believe that he definitely could have handled that situation differently. You know what I'm saying? He did curse out that woman because he did use curse words. He didn't say B word, but he did use curse words, and that was completely. You know what I'm saying? The whole situation was uncouth because I mean she shouldn't have been twerking on the table, and you know what I'm saying. And just it brings to the point, like you know, they wouldn't have done this at Walmart. They wouldn't have done this at Chick-fil-A. They wouldn't have done this at you know Hooters. They wouldn't even done that at Hooters. You know what I'm saying? And Hooters is a more environment like that. I mean, and you may hear Nuck if you buck it.
Delightfully tacky.
Yeah, and you may hear Nuck if you buck if you go to Hooters, but those women they would not have acted that way. You know what I'm saying? So we had to look at each other as divine. The fact that we had you know she's ascribing to this Black person that the media has created. The media has created this twerking being, this Cardi B like person. This is who the media gives, the politicians give their energy to, this Black person that they have created, and a lot of Black people have fallen to the fold into believing that this is Black culture. So she believes that this is Black culture, and so that's why this situation to me is a teaching moment. It's a teaching moment because it says to me that we have to implement our own Black culture. We have to define our Black culture, and the only true culture is Black supremacy. So that's what I had to say. That. But I appreciate what you're saying. And I agree with the fact that he shouldn't have came out there like that. Like I was saying, he shouldn't have came out there like that. That was clearly not good to come out there and curse at anybody. But if he's okay with losing customers, and he's okay with that, and I just give kudos for the brother for handling his own affairs. You know what I'm saying? Instead of interjecting these terrorists in our community, i.e. the police. So that's the only thing that I really give kudos to him for doing. Other than that, You know, we definitely need to handle each other in a way more respectable manner. We got to see each other as divine beings. If we saw each other as divine beings and not bees and, you know, all this other stuff and niggas and bees and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's media derived. This is why we look at each other like that. It's completely media derived. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what,
we have, yeah.
No, let me say this right quick because I'm about to step in this Afro-Caribbean restaurant right quick, this African restaurant actually. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna say I agree with what you said, right? But if it's a teaching moment, make it a teaching moment for the man and the woman. Don't just make it one way. And I'm just being honest, man. It really upsets me to hear black men always only want to go at the woman. You don't have that same fight when it comes to men. And then not just black men, not just black men. And I'm not talking about you personally. I'm not right now. I'm not talking about you personally. I'm saying what I've heard black. And we don't have this same fight and same vigor and same venom toward other people, even when they do something to our women. If our women is molested, no one says nothing. We look for, even the NOI was talking about how we should still love and want to protect R. Kelly. So just imagine how many men pedophiles have gotten away with that, and now our women is struggling. So the women you see out here going through all this struggle have been dominated by men and treated bad by men, but no black men reach to them. But we want to try to reach and put down the woman. So if it's going to be a teaching moment, the teaching moment is not just for the twerking, because in all honesty, twerking is African culture, ancient African culture. If you see our dance, the only thing is, in this society, it has been over-sexualized. But you can go back through ancient times and you can see how our women always shake their behind. It's over-sexualized because of where we live now.
Right. But they wouldn't have done that in that context. Would they have done that at
a restaurant? No,
it wouldn't have been.
And we talked about that earlier. I know you said that, brother Bakari, that you got to hear later, but we did. We talked about Mapuka, which is where twerking was derived from, and how it has been exploited on the United States in this particular part of the world. But the Mapuka was done at weddings to welcome fertility. Now, how many times, even though that's what happens, so some of these women, they end up getting pregnant after their twerk fest. That's not what they would desire. They may not realize that the spiritual, initiatives of Mapuka was to ensure fertility. So the Mapuka was done at weddings. It was also done to welcome kings of other leaders of other tribes into the neighborhood. The line of, ladies, not just young ladies, but ladies from the oldest to the youngest would be out showing, hey, these are the skills that our young ladies present. This is what they have. So, it's absolutely a different context. So we can't really talk about, twerking in the same regard as the Mapuka. But I definitely do hear and understand what you're saying. But it is, as Brother Palmetto said, it is taken out of context in that regard.
Well, you know what? I got to get off here. I got to bounce. I'm about to go get my jowl of rice. So y'all enjoy y'all vegetables. I'm going to enjoy my jowl of rice. Say that again, my man.
No,
what I heard of him, he sound good. I would like to talk to him again. I really liked him, what he was saying. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, he's a brilliant mind. And he's also a member of MX Media Group. So his email is actually TOORAWFORTV. That's who it is. So his name is not Palmetto Star in our email. It's TOORAWFORTV. But in the group emails that I send, his email is there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And by the way, man, if we disagree on anything, we still brothers and sisters. We got to learn to understand that it's okay to disagree and still work together. It's okay to disagree,
And that's something that works against. That's something that works against.
Thank you. I'm gonna see this brother. I got to go in here. They calling me to come pick up my rice, and it's loud again.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you, Brother Bakari.
All right. Well, I mean, and I agree with Brother Bakari with that. To be able to disagree and be able to say, hey,
we're still brothers, we're
we're
still
still like,
sisters.
and
Yeah,
that's what works
we're
against
still family.
that's what works against um Black people, because you know the powers that the people that that are that have put themselves in a position of power, they don't agree with each other. They hate each other. You know what I'm saying? The Germans don't like the you know, they at one point they didn't call themselves white. They called themselves, you know, Germans and Huns and Swedes, and you know what I'm saying. Then they have a hunt. They don't like each other. These pink people out here do not like each other. But guess what? They're lock in step against you. You know what I'm saying? They're lock in step against Black people, and we had to say that, you know, no matter what, that this person is Black. And so, you know, I may not agree with him, you know what I'm saying, but I had to respect him, and that comes with Black supremacy. That comes with recognizing that we are divine beings and recognizing each other as divine beings. You know what I'm saying? The weakest thing is for a Black man to shoot another Black man. That's the absolute weakest thing you could do as a Black person. You know what I'm saying? So all this Black on Black violence is actually showing Black on Black weakness. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the absolute weakest thing you could do, is to be violent towards another Black person, when, you know, ultimately you're not going to have that same sort of energy when the police come around. You know what I'm saying? So we have to recognize what it is, and I truly appreciate those words, Brother Bakari. And like I was saying, I don't agree with the methodology that that particular business owner used. You know, I think he could have did that with a lot more class. He could have did that with a lot more. Um, you know, he could have did that in a different way, but we wouldn't have been talking about it. We wouldn't have been talking about it right now. So we're talking about it, and you know, we have to settle our own affairs. You know what I'm saying? Black, black people must settle their own affairs without interference from other people, because they, you know, these people, we are subconsciously looking at them as God. You know what I'm saying? You're subconsciously looking at these pale people as God. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the fact that you want to call the police and, you know, all this other stuff, it's just, we gotta be sovereign or suffer, and that's ultimately what it is. But I know I do have to pick up my baby soon.
Oh wow! Oh, I'm gonna do the special. Absolutely. Okay, so thank you so much again, Brother Bakari, for always your contributions. Thank you, KK. Sir, I see you came in with a good word. Just I'm appreciating the chat. I appreciate you as well. Want to invite everyone tomorrow. We're going to be doing a very special glow after dark. Want to make sure you get in at by 9:30. So we are going to be chopping it up. It's been a minute since we've kind of just y'all know what I do. I'm going to open up the panel, but it's been a minute since we've had this opportunity to talk, and we're talking about a very special one because y'all, we are heading on. This is huge. We're heading into the year 2021, and we are at a point in our life, in our culture, where there is going to be a huge shift, and we need to mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially be prepared for it. It's coming. No one that I've talked to has said otherwise. No one has talked to. It's like COVID was a lot of people's wake up call, but there were many people that were talking about this shift happening well before COVID was into the atmosphere in existence. And just to let you know too, when we were in Publix tonight, I saw another Saints mask. Okay, something is huge about the shift. So I really want my spiritual people, anyone on the fast with me, anyone that is manifesting for it, I want you to be into the glow after dark tomorrow. We're just going to be doing some we're going to be really building in a very concentrated way. This is not going to be just, you know, us just kicking off and laughing. We're going to be talking. We're seriously going to be unpacking some things tomorrow. So it's a very special Glow After Dark. If you are serious about your intentions with creating your own reality, please be there. Please be there tomorrow at 9:30. And your show is tomorrow at what time? 11?
Yes, it's at 11.
It's at 11. Yeah, and we'll be done by
Big time to all the glowers. I love this.
Glow Nation.
I love this platform. I love.
Thank you. We've been rocking. We've been rocking. We have.
If you want to follow me, hit up TOORAWFORTV Takeover on Instagram.
Yes.
That's the number 2 RAW, the number 4 TV Takeover on Instagram. Also on Facebook T4.
And on Facebook, that's E spelled out, so TEE. Yeah.
TEE4. And Blog Talk. TOORAWFORTV comes on every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. blogtalkradio.com/TOORAWFORTV. The call-in number is 516-453-9174.
I'm gonna put that in the chat.
The topic for tomorrow is politics will not save us.
Sovereign.
Be sovereign or suffer. Yep, be sovereign or suffer.
I'm ready.
And we're talking to Scapegoat Jones of the East Atlanta Exxon boycott, and we're gonna go in on this, y'all. So tune in, hit me up, tell me that you see me on this on the glow up. You know what I'm saying? And also, you know, it's more than a radio show. It's a movement. So we're boots on the ground. We're doing a lot of things out here in Atlanta. We provide people with free food, free clothing, food, and shelter. We do a lot of things. I'm not gonna get to everything because it is on the ground. I am active, you know what I'm saying, on the ground. You know, I got, let me just say it like this, we're on the ground active. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So just hit me up, TOORAWFORTV Takeover, Paul Meadow Star. If you don't remember any of that, just hashtag TOORAWFORTV. That's the number 2 RAW, the number 4 TV. If you can't remember any of that, just hashtag TOORAWFORTV and link up with me so we could go beyond as she was eloquently saying earlier, the mental masturbation.
Yeah, intellectual.
All that stuff. Like it's great to talk. This is great. I love to talk, but I love for us to assert our power more.
Yeah, let's get past our activism porn.
Yeah.
Y'all just marching. Oh gosh. Yeah.
It's Black Supremacy.
Let's do it.
That's what it is.
Let's do it. So, and y'all know, until next time, you know what to do. Glow up.